I believe you have 10 powerful insights on that. So we're going to have
I do. All right. So make a who can I add value to list. And so that's the people, the organizations that you can continue to add value. Who can you help make better? And the nice side effect is that the more that you work on this day in and day out, who am I going to reach out to? Who am I going to add value to? The more you find that you'll have more social interactions and you'll stay connected. So again, let's turn off that internal managerialism and let's start thinking about who we can add value to.
Exactly. And think of your strengths. Think of your skill set that people always compliment you on. It may be something that you are great at interviewing people. So now teach people online, give them tips on interview skills, how to answer certain questions, etc. What is the second point on how to value, Gerard?
So number 2, learn to manage yourself first, right? Everybody's probably heard this quote in some way, shape, or form, but the hardest leadership challenge you ever have is leading yourself, right? And so let's encourage others by being the example. The tough thing about this right now is that a crisis really reveals what's inside of us, right? The fact is that as human beings, when you squeeze us, right, like a crisis does, something's going to come out and it can either be good or bad, one of the two.
Right.
And so while we're doing this right now, we really have to focus on the idea of managing ourselves, of being authentic in who we are, and just continuing to move forward. I think, again, that's really the biggest thing. The point I really want to make with this one is that what's really important right now, we focus so much on the stuff that's out here. That could be the money, the titles, the wardrobe, the cars. Let's remember that being a leader is more about what's in here, right? So it's integrity, wisdom, confidence, vulnerability. All that stuff is what makes us real, and it comes from life experience. It comes from the scars that we have, that we've developed over a lifetime of learning, a lifetime of our career, and that's really what makes us authentic. And so it's just so important, again, that we continue to stay focused on that.
And I remember you once saying to me, and I love it, choices make us, crises reveal us.
That's right. That's right.
Very much about that. So a great point about managing yourself internally. What about managing yourself externally? What's your third point, Gerard?
That takes me to the third point. And this one I think is super important too during the crisis. Take on a new role, right? And this one's really important, I think, from a professional side. Call your manager. If you're working from home or maybe you're off, it doesn't mean you have to stop thinking, stop growing, stop building value. And so you could text your manager or your director or whoever your leader is and say, how can I keep adding value? How can I keep doing this? I read something said that consider yourself to be the chief and then fill in the blank for your organization, right? So is that the chief communication officer? Is that the chief cheerleader? Is that the chief future thinker? But you have this opportunity to be able to take on maybe a new role that's outside because nobody's judging you, right? Everybody's looking for ways to continue to be involved. That's your chance right now.
And you also say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Amen, sister. Listen, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. What happens right now is we have this tendency to kind of fall back into this fallback position. It's almost like a status quo. Mm-hmm. Stay ready. Stay ready. We don't know if this will last 30 days, 60 days, 40 days. Stay ready. That way you don't have to get ready.
So to fill in the blank, and I'm going to give you an example of how I did it, and a lot of us have had breakdown moments, and many of us may be going through that right now. And I always see my breakdown moments being the times of my life when my best breakthroughs have come out, where I started my business, new opportunities. So I want to encourage you. This is one of my acronyms of what I'm becoming today. This is my new title, CBE, Chief Breakthrough Executive.
There you are. I always use the look. I have kids, and so one of my favorite movies to watch with my kids is Shrek. And if you go to the intro scene of Shrek, there's all of the characters standing there, right? And it's where you pick the scene or you pick where you're going to go in the movie. And here you see Shrek in the background, right? And he's not Shrek, excuse me, it's the donkey. He's jumping up and down, and he's yelling out, "Pick me, pick me, pick me." That should be you today, right? Everybody on the call should be jumping up and down saying, how can I add value? How can I do something for our organization? Pick me because I'm the one that wants to do it.
All Absolutely. Right, Gerard. So what about the fourth step?
So number 4, and this one's a little tougher. So This one is really focused on, remember, you're part of a team. And what is the team's mission? Now, I know a lot of people on the call right now might be thinking, well, look, Jeremy, they're working from home or I'm furloughed right now, right? Maybe even laid off. What are you talking about when we talk about team mission? Well, one of the things that I have done, and part of the things I think about team mission, is I created my own internal Facebook page just for my leaders, right? And somebody might think that that's just for the social interaction, but I'll tell you what, it's also for us to continue to stay focused as a team. When I put out the very first video on this Facebook page, I actually put on there, it says, listen, we are a team. We've been a team. Just because we're apart doesn't mean we have to stop being a team, all right? And so I think it's very, very important, again, that we still focus on the team mission. Whatever organization that you're involved in, don't lose sight of what you're trying to accomplish. So stay focused on that.
Anybody has ever been on one of my workshops here, they'll know my most important or my favorite definition of success is where preparation and opportunity meet. If you are not prepared for it, opportunities are just going past you and you're not even seeing them. So right now, reinvent your online and your offline brand. How are you doing that? Incredibly important as well. I think it's the first time ever that the world has given you global permission to reset, reboot, so you can re-emerge stronger than before. So what are you doing with it?
All right, so number 6, again, as a leader, it's so important. Keep your head above the crowd, right? And as leaders, look, we want to actually stand shoulder to shoulder to our teams, but remember that your role as a leader is also to keep your vision up here, not just side to side, because if you don't, you can't see the big picture, right? You can get lost in the details. I know an early mentor of mine once said, Jared, don't get lost in the weeds. As a leader, keep your head above the crowd because you should be forward facing, and your positive mentality will help the team keep focused on moving forward, right? So whether, again, you're furloughed, whether you're working from home, continue to keep your head above the crowd, and that just means looking to the future, looking to the future. Number 7, take the initiative. So instead of sitting back and waiting for someone to call you, I always say, there's so many of these brass rings in life. The difference between success and failure is, are you willing to reach up and grab a hold of it, right? Take the initiative. Stay connected to people. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And one of the best ways to do that is a quick example. I talked about that internet research. Look, if you have to work from home, and the reality is so many of us are doing that right now, but then get out there and research it, right? Let's get a list together of the best of work from home advice that we can find that's applicable to your organization, and then go back and then share that with your coworkers, share that with your leaders, share that with your boss, and say, look, we've been furloughed for 30 days. We've been furloughed for 60. Let me show you. I've already got a plan how we can be better the day that we get back, all right? So I'd really encourage that. And then number 8, have a visible presence, right? During this crisis, leadership is needed now. Truly more than ever. Leaders show up early. They show up with a sense of purpose. Don't lose that, right? You still have to have that same sense of purpose. And I think calls like this are so great, Haiti, because it gives everybody an opportunity to say, we can still be face to face, right? I can still see laughs and giggles, and I can still see people having a good time. And it's important, right? And email is good. This is great because it still allows us to have that face-to-face conversation. And I'll tell you, I don't think anybody knows that better than you with what you do with your teaching.
Well, you know that I'm absolutely passionate about presence, powerful, showing up in powerful presence, because people can feel your energy and your presence. And now most of us don't know how to do that virtually. And it's so important that you now apply the skills and upgrade yourself. And I'm going to come up with a course, I'm working on it right now, how to upgrade your virtual brand. And with that being said, is most people on this call don't use the best kept secret, the best virtual networking secret in the world. Do you want to hear what it is? Anybody on the chat?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, anyone. It's called LinkedIn. And I know some of you are going, I've got a profile on LinkedIn, and but I don't, whatever. You know what? This is a $1 billion PR company that is working for you. And if you're not using it to its best capacity, you're wasting it. And one of the main things today is people are, after a long time, they're not longer doing business through word of mouth, they're doing business through word of mouse. So
Yep.
it's very important to get your visual presence, your virtual presence online. And I'm going to give you a quick tip. If you want to look at your profile today, is I can assure you that probably 90% of people on this call are not using their what I call Fifth Avenue property really well. And that is your banner above your photo on LinkedIn. That is a lot of great property that you're not using to advertise who you are as a brand and all your company and what that stands for. So virtual, I am all about that online and visible presence. And by the way, I spoke to a recruiter the other day who's busy getting 500 in gaming alone, 500 resumes a day. So from 500 resumes, how is your resume, if you have to send one out, standing out from the rest? What about a visual resume? Have you thought ever about that? Think of it. How do you stand out and be unique from the rest? All right, let's go to your 9th tip.
I think this is, again, it's also just so important now because of the crisis that we're in, is don't forget the power of praise and acknowledgement, right? While we're furloughed, while we're locked into our houses, while we're maybe not in our normal business setting, remember that leaders don't seek praise, right? We bestow it. And while I know that's harder to do now, you can still do it. You don't have to be on the job site to appreciate someone. You don't have to actually be in an office to appreciate someone. So I really would challenge everybody, amp up your gratitude. Amp up how you express it to people, right? This means maybe you have to change your thinking a little bit, right? You might have to use Facebook. You might have to use LinkedIn. You might have to use text messages. You might have to do a Zoom call just to say, hey, would you do a Zoom call with me for 5 minutes? I want to tell you thank you. So don't lose the idea that as leaders, one of the most powerful things we can do is praise and acknowledge, and that can't stop today. We can't hit the pause button because of what's going on. I know we're getting ready to do a post of all of our executives just holding signs that spell out, we miss you, please stay healthy and safe. And so, don't miss those opportunities to reach out. This is not just about your team. It's also about your guests. So how can you go out there and stay connected with a sense of praise and acknowledgement for your guests as well? Because look, the reality is they miss us too.
They do. They're 100. It's home away from home, right?
That's right. During this crisis, how do you continue to add value? And there's just this wonderful quote that I found. It was from a guy from South Africa, a futurist, Anton Musgrave. He said, if the world hardens rather than softens after this crisis, we're all lost, right? Look, I'm a person of faith, and so I believe this too shall pass. We will get on the other side of this. There's that old saying, again, that on the other side of fear is freedom. And nothing spreads faster than fear. And so I would challenge everybody today, stay positive. Stay focused on how you can add value. Stay focused on growth. Stay focused on thinking differently. Because again, if there's anything this present situation has shown us, and Hattie just said it, is how real connected we are, right? How much we need each other, how much we depend on each other. Now is the time that we should be reaching out, not the time to retreat.
Again, we've had global permission for the first time to reconnect, reset, to re-emerge stronger than before. So how are you using it?